Imagine waking up on an ordinary August morning in 2026. You reach for your coffee, but instead of staying in the cup, it begins to float. Your feet lift off the ground. Your furniture, your pets, everything around you starts drifting upward. For 7 seconds, gravity simply stops working. Then, just as mysteriously, everything crashes back down. This is the viral claim that has exploded across social media, captivating millions and generating unprecedented search volume. The so-called Project Anchor, allegedly discovered by NASA, predicts this exact scenario. But here's what they're not telling you. The real science behind this claim is far more fascinating than the fiction. And understanding why this is impossible will reveal one of the universe's most profound truths. Today we're going deep into the physics of gravity, exposing the viral myth, and uncovering what NASA is actually researching about one of nature's fundamental forces. What you're about to discover will change how you see the ground beneath your feet forever. To understand why the Project Anchor claim is scientifically impossible, we need to journey back to one of humanity's greatest intellectual achievements: understanding gravity itself. For thousands of years, humans observed objects falling to Earth without truly comprehending why. Ancient Greek philosophers like Aristotle believed heavier objects fell faster than lighter ones, a misconception that persisted for nearly 2 millennia. It wasn't until the late 16th century that Galileo Galilei challenged this dogma through careful experimentation, demonstrating that all objects fall at the same rate regardless of mass when air resistance is negligible. But Galileo only described how objects fall, not why they fall. That revolutionary insight came from Isaac Newton in 1687, when he published his Philosophiae Naturalis Principia Mathematica, arguably the most influential scientific work ever written. Newton's law of universal gravitation stated that every particle of matter in the universe attracts every other particle, with a force proportional to the product of their masses, and inversely proportional to the square of the distance between them. This wasn't just a theory about apples falling from trees. Newton had discovered a universal principle governing everything from falling raindrops to orbiting planets to the motion of entire galaxies. His equations could predict planetary positions decades in advance with stunning accuracy. The gravitational constant, denoted as g and measured at approximately 6.674 times 10 to the negative 11th power cubic meters per kilogram per second squared, became one of the fundamental constants of nature. For over 2 centuries, Newton's framework stood unchallenged, successfully explaining virtually every gravitational phenomenon observed. Then, in 1915, Albert Einstein revolutionized our understanding again with his general theory of relativity, revealing that gravity isn't actually a force pulling objects together, but rather a consequence of how mass warps the fabric of spacetime itself. Massive objects like Earth create a curvature in spacetime, and objects moving through this curved spacetime follow paths we perceive as gravitational attraction. Both frameworks, Newtonian and Einsteinian, have been tested and confirmed through countless experiments and observations over more than a century. This brings us to a critical point. Gravity isn't something that can simply turn off. Roteiro completo. NASA's Gravity Blackout in 2026. NASA's Gravity Blackout in 2026. The truth they didn't tell you. Is Earth really going to experience a 7-second gravity blackout in August 2026? Millions are talking about the viral Project Anchor claim. But what's the real science behind gravity? In this documentary-style investigation, we dive deep into the physics of gravity, examine why this viral claim is scientifically impossible, explore what would actually happen if gravity disappeared, and uncover the fascinating truth about how gravity really works. From Newton's revolutionary discoveries to Einstein's mind-bending relativity, from NASA's actual gravity research to the cosmic forces that keep our feet on the ground, this is the complete scientific breakdown you need to understand one of the universe's most fundamental forces. Perfect for science enthusiasts, students, and anyone who's seen the viral claims and wants real answers backed by verified research and expert analysis. Topics covered: gravity physics, Newton's law of universal gravitation, Einstein's general relativity, NASA real projects, viral misinformation debunked. What would happen without gravity? Grace satellites, gravitational waves, LIGO observatory, and much more. Hashtags: Project Anchor, Gravity Blackout, NASA, Space Science, Physics, Debunked, Gravity Explained, Science Facts, Astronomy, Space Documentary, Viral Debunked, Science Education, Newton, Einstein, Astrophysics. Project Anchor, NASA Gravity Blackout 2026. Will gravity disappear? What is gravity? NASA Gravity Project. How does gravity work? Gravity, viral TikTok, science behind gravity, Newton, gravity law, Einstein, general relativity. 16,019. Imagine waking up on an ordinary August morning in 2026. You reach for your coffee, but instead of staying in the cup, it begins to float. Your feet lift off the ground. Your furniture, your pets, everything around you starts drifting upward. For 7 seconds, gravity simply stops working. Then, just as mysteriously, everything crashes back down. This is the viral claim that has exploded across social media, captivating millions and generating unprecedented search volume. The so-called Project Anchor, allegedly discovered by NASA, predicts this exact scenario. But here's what they're not telling you. The real science behind this claim is far more fascinating than the fiction, and understanding why this is impossible will reveal one of the universe's most profound truths. Today we're going deep into the physics of gravity, exposing the viral myth, and uncovering what NASA is actually researching about one of nature's fundamental forces. What you're about to discover will change how you see the ground beneath your feet forever. To understand why the Project Anchor claim is scientifically impossible, we need to journey back to one of humanity's greatest intellectual achievements: understanding gravity itself. For thousands of years, humans observed objects falling to Earth without truly comprehending why. Ancient Greek philosophers like Aristotle believed heavier objects fell faster than lighter ones, a misconception that persisted for nearly 2 millennia. It wasn't until the late 16th century that Galileo Galilei challenged this dogma through careful experimentation, demonstrating that all objects fall at the same rate regardless of mass when air resistance is negligible. But Galileo only described how objects fall, not why they fall. That revolutionary insight came from Isaac Newton in 1687, when he published his Philosophiae Naturalis Principia Mathematica, arguably the most influential scientific work ever written. Newton's law of universal gravitation stated that every particle of matter in the universe attracts every other particle with a force proportional to the product of their masses and inversely proportional to the square of the distance between them. This wasn't just a theory about apples falling from trees. Newton had discovered a universal principle governing everything from falling raindrops to orbiting planets to the motion of entire galaxies. His equations could predict planetary positions decades in advance with stunning accuracy. The gravitational constant, denoted as g and measured at approximately 674 times 10 to the negative 11th power cubic meters per kilogram per second squared, became one of the fundamental constants of nature. For over 2 centuries, Newton's framework stood unchallenged, successfully explaining virtually every gravitational phenomenon observed. Then, in 1915, Albert Einstein revolutionized our understanding again with his general theory of relativity, revealing that gravity isn't actually a force pulling objects together, but rather a consequence of how mass warps the fabric of spacetime itself. Massive objects like Earth create a curvature in spacetime, and objects moving through this curved spacetime follow paths we perceive as gravitational attraction. Both frameworks, Newtonian and Einsteinian, have been tested and confirmed through countless experiments and observations over more than a century. This brings us to a critical point. Gravity isn't something that can simply turn off. Seção 3. Fundamentos científicos aprofundados. Let's dive deeper into why gravity is fundamentally different from forces that can be switched on and off. Gravity emerges from the very existence of mass and energy in the universe. According to general relativity, any object with mass or energy curves the spacetime around it. Earth's mass of approximately 5.972 times 10 to the 24th kilograms creates a substantial curvature in spacetime that extends infinitely outward, though its effects weaken with distance according to the inverse square law. This curvature is what we experience as gravitational acceleration, measured at Earth's surface as approximately 9.81 meters per second squared. Here's the crucial scientific point that demolishes the Project Anchor claim. For Earth's gravity to disappear, even for 1 second, Earth's entire mass would need to vanish, or the fundamental structure of spacetime itself would need to change. There is no known physical mechanism, no theoretical framework in modern physics, and no empirical evidence suggesting that gravity can be temporarily suspended while matter continues to exist. The gravitational field isn't separate from matter. It's an intrinsic property of matter's existence in spacetime. To illustrate this, consider gravitational waves, ripples in spacetime itself, caused by accelerating massive objects. First predicted by Einstein in 1916 and finally detected directly by LIGO in 2015 from colliding black holes 1.3 billion light-years away. These waves demonstrate that spacetime curvature is a real, measurable phenomenon. Even these waves don't turn gravity off. They merely represent oscillations in spacetime curvature traveling at the speed of light. Furthermore, the Standard Model of particle physics and general relativity, our two most successful theories describing the universe, provide no mechanism for gravity to cease operating. Gravity is believed to be mediated by hypothetical particles called gravitons, though these remain undetected due to the weakness of gravitational interactions at quantum scales. Even in theoretical scenarios involving gravitons, there's no process by which they could universally stop interacting for a specific time period. Some might wonder about quantum gravity effects or exotic physics. While physicists are indeed working to reconcile quantum mechanics with general relativity, none of the proposed theories, whether string theory, loop quantum gravity, or others, suggest anything resembling a temporary gravity shutdown. The energy required to counteract Earth's gravitational field across its entire surface would be astronomical, far beyond any conceivable technology. Now let's address Project Anchor directly and trace the origin of this viral claim. Despite millions of views and widespread social media distribution, there is no NASA project called Project Anchor, and NASA has made no announcement about any gravity-related anomaly scheduled for August 2026 or any other time. This has been confirmed by checking NASA's official project databases, press releases, and scientific publication records. The agency maintains transparent records of all its missions and research initiatives, from planetary exploration programs like Artemis and Mars sample return to Earth science missions studying climate and geophysics. None mention anything resembling a gravity blackout prediction. So where did this claim originate? Viral misinformation like Project Anchor typically follows predictable patterns. The claim likely began as either deliberate misinformation designed to generate engagement, a misinterpretation of legitimate scientific information, or creative fiction that was mistaken for fact. Similar viral hoaxes have circulated before, including the 2015 claim that a planetary alignment would cause zero gravity on Earth for 5 minutes, supposedly announced by NASA. That was also completely false. The Project Anchor narrative contains several red flags that scientists immediately recognize as pseudoscientific. First, it provides no physical mechanism explaining how or why gravity would cease. Second, it specifies an exact future date without any observational data or theoretical framework supporting the prediction. Third, it invokes NASA's authority without any verifiable source or official announcement. Fourth, it demonstrates fundamental misunderstandings about how gravity works, treating it as something that can be switched on and off, rather than an emergent property of mass energy and spacetime. When examining NASA's actual research related to gravity, we find fascinating legitimate science. NASA operates the GRACE follow-on mission, twin satellites launched in 2018 that precisely measure variations in Earth's gravitational field caused by changes in mass distribution, such as ice sheet melting, groundwater depletion, and ocean circulation patterns. This mission has revolutionized our understanding of how mass moves around our planet, contributing vital data for climate science and hydrology research. NASA's real gravity research extends far beyond Earth. The agency has conducted extensive studies of gravitational physics in space environments through programs spanning decades. Microgravity research aboard the International Space Station has revealed how biological systems, fluid dynamics, combustion processes, and material properties behave differently when gravitational acceleration is reduced to approximately 1/millionth of Earth's surface gravity. These experiments don't involve turning gravity off. The ISS and everything in it are continuously falling toward Earth, while moving forward fast enough that they constantly miss, creating the orbital path we observe. This state of continuous freefall creates the microgravity environment. Additionally, NASA contributed to gravitational wave astronomy through partnerships with projects like LIGO. The detection of gravitational waves opened an entirely new window for observing the universe, allowing scientists to witness cosmic events like black hole mergers and neutron star collisions that emit no electromagnetic radiation. NASA's planned LISA mission, a space-based gravitational wave observatory scheduled for the 2030s, will detect lower-frequency gravitational waves from supermassive black hole mergers and other exotic phenomena. These are the real gravitational projects NASA pursues: measuring gravitational variations to understand Earth systems, studying microgravity environments to advance science and prepare for deep space exploration, and detecting gravitational waves to explore cosmic phenomena. None involve predicting or creating gravity blackouts. The viral nature of the Project Anchor claim reveals important psychological and sociological factors about information spread in the digital age. Humans are naturally drawn to catastrophic predictions and mysterious phenomena. The specificity of the claim, naming NASA, and providing an exact date, lends it false credibility. The fear factor, imagining what would happen if gravity stopped, creates emotional engagement that drives sharing behavior. Social media algorithms amplify content that generates strong reactions, creating information cascades where false claims can reach millions before fact-checkers can respond. This phenomenon isn't unique to Project Anchor. Similar viral hoaxes about NASA discoveries, planetary dangers, or cosmic events circulate regularly, exploiting the same psychological vulnerabilities and algorithmic amplification. To fully appreciate why Project Anchor is impossible, let's explore what would actually happen if Earth's gravity could somehow be turned off for 7 seconds. The consequences would be catastrophic beyond imagination, extending far beyond floating coffee cups. First, consider Earth's atmosphere. Our atmospheric gases, primarily nitrogen and oxygen, are held around the planet by gravity. Without gravitational attraction, atmospheric molecules would immediately begin moving in straight lines tangent to Earth's surface at their thermal velocities, which average around 500 meters per second for nitrogen at room temperature. In 7 seconds, the atmosphere wouldn't completely escape, but significant portions would begin dissipating into space, creating a partial vacuum near the surface. The pressure change would be lethal to any organisms requiring atmospheric pressure to survive. Second, consider Earth's structure. Our planet isn't a rigid solid sphere. It's a dynamic system with a molten outer core, viscous mantle, and relatively thin crust, all held together and compressed by gravity. The pressure at Earth's center reaches approximately 360 gigapascals, about 3.6 million times atmospheric pressure at sea level, entirely due to gravitational compression. If gravity disappeared, this pressure would instantly vanish. The planet's interior would begin expanding explosively as compressed materials decompressed. Even 7 seconds of this expansion would trigger catastrophic geological processes, potentially ripping the planet's structure apart. Third, consider orbital mechanics. Earth orbits the Sun at approximately 30 kilometers per second because the Sun's gravity continuously curves Earth's path into an elliptical orbit. If Earth's gravity disappeared, but the Sun's remained, it wouldn't directly affect Earth's orbit around the Sun. However, the Moon's orbit around Earth depends entirely on Earth's gravitational attraction. The Moon, currently orbiting at about 1 kilometer per second at an average distance of 384,400 kilometers, would immediately move in a straight line tangent to its orbit. In 7 seconds, it would travel about 7 kilometers along this new trajectory. When Earth's gravity returned, the Moon would be displaced from its expected position, resulting in a highly perturbed orbit that would take centuries to stabilize through tidal interactions. Fourth, consider everything on Earth's surface. Objects are held to Earth because they're continuously accelerating downward at 9.81 meters per second squared, with the ground providing an upward normal force that prevents them from falling through. Remove gravity, and this acceleration ceases. Objects would continue moving at whatever velocity they had when gravity disappeared. Scientists across multiple disciplines have examined claims like Project Anchor from various perspectives, and their analyses reveal fascinating insights into physics, psychology, and science communication. From a purely physical standpoint, physicists emphasize that gravity is a fundamental interaction, one of the 4 fundamental forces of nature alongside electromagnetism, strong nuclear force, and weak nuclear force. Unlike manufactured phenomena or technological systems that can malfunction or be switched off, fundamental forces emerge from the basic structure of physical reality. Dr. Brian Greene, theoretical physicist and string theorist, has explained in numerous public lectures that gravity's weakness compared to other forces, paradoxically, makes it impossible to shield or turn off at macroscopic scales. While we can shield electromagnetic fields with conductive materials or channel them with magnets, there's no known material or energy configuration that can block or redirect gravitational fields. From a planetary science perspective, geophysicists note that gravity's role in planetary formation and structure makes temporary suspension absurd. Planets form through gravitational collapse of material in protoplanetary disks. Their layered structures, with denser materials sinking to the core and lighter materials rising to the surface, result entirely from gravitational differentiation. Dr. Sarah Stewart Johnson, planetary scientist, emphasizes that understanding gravity as inseparable from mass helps explain why claims of gravity blackouts immediately signal pseudoscience to trained scientists. From an observational astronomy standpoint, we continuously measure gravitational effects throughout the universe. Gravitational lensing, where massive objects bend light from distant sources, provides one of the most compelling visual confirmations of general relativity. Astronomers routinely observe and measure these effects. If gravity could cease operating even temporarily, we would see discontinuities in orbital mechanics, unexplained celestial object movements, and violations of conservation laws. None have ever been observed despite centuries of precise astronomical measurements. The psychological and sociological perspectives are equally illuminating. Dr. Sander van der Linden, social psychologist at Cambridge University, researches misinformation spread and has identified several factors that make claims like Project Anchor particularly viral. The authority heuristic, where mentioning NASA adds credibility, the specificity bias, where exact dates and details feel more believable, availability cascade, where repeated exposure increases perceived truth, and fear-based sharing, where alarming content spreads faster than reassuring information. Now here's where I want to hear from you. When you first saw the Project Anchor claim circulating on social media, what was your initial reaction? Did the scientific implausibility immediately stand out, or did the specific details make it seem potentially credible? More importantly, what aspect of gravity and spacetime physics do you find most fascinating or confusing? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And if you're finding this deep dive into real gravitational science more compelling than viral misinformation, smash that like button. It tells YouTube's algorithm to show this video to more people who are searching for real answers about Project Anchor and gravity science. Your engagement directly helps combat misinformation by boosting educational content in search results and recommendations. The algorithms don't distinguish between educational and misleading content based on accuracy. They respond to engagement signals. So every like, every comment, and every share of this video helps ensure that when someone searches for Project Anchor or gravity blackout, they find accurate science instead of fear-mongering nonsense. Let's make real science viral. While Project Anchor is fiction, humanity's research into gravity and gravitational phenomena is entering an extraordinary new era with profound implications for the future. NASA and international partners are developing next-generation gravity measurement technologies that will revolutionize Earth science, fundamental physics, and space exploration. The upcoming Grace-C mission, planned for the late 2020s, will improve on the already impressive precision of Grace follow-on, measuring gravitational variations with even greater accuracy and spatial resolution. This data will be crucial for understanding and predicting climate change impacts, as melting ice sheets and shifting water resources create measurable changes in Earth's gravitational field. Scientists will use this data to monitor groundwater depletion in agricultural regions, track ice loss in Greenland and Antarctica with unprecedented precision, and improve models of sea level rise. In the realm of fundamental physics, gravitational wave astronomy is still in its infancy. LIGO and its European counterpart Virgo have detected dozens of gravitational wave events since 2015, but this represents only the beginning. The planned Einstein telescope in Europe and Cosmic Explorer in the United States will increase detection sensitivity by an order of magnitude, observing gravitational waves from the early universe, potentially detecting signals from cosmic inflation or even from hypothetical cosmic strings. NASA's LISA mission will operate in space, free from Earth-based seismic noise, detecting lower-frequency gravitational waves from supermassive black hole mergers at cosmic distances. These observations will test general relativity in extreme conditions, potentially revealing where Einstein's theory breaks down and new physics emerges. Quantum gravity research continues to pursue one of physics' holy grails, reconciling general relativity with quantum mechanics. While we don't expect this research to reveal anything resembling gravity blackouts, understanding gravity at quantum scales could revolutionize our comprehension of black hole interiors, the Big Bang's first moments, and the fundamental nature of spacetime itself. Some theoretical proposals suggest spacetime might not be continuous but rather emerge from more fundamental quantum structures. Experiments testing these ideas are becoming increasingly sophisticated. So here's what we've discovered in this investigation. Project Anchor is not real. NASA has no project by that name and has made no prediction about any gravity blackout in August 2026 or any other time. The claim is scientifically impossible, because gravity emerges from the fundamental existence of mass and energy in spacetime, not from any mechanism that can be switched on or off. For Earth's gravity to cease operating even for 1 second would require Earth's mass to vanish or the laws of physics themselves to change, neither of which shows any possibility of occurring. What is real and far more fascinating is the extraordinary science humanity has developed to understand gravity over the past 4 centuries. From Newton's revolutionary insights to Einstein's mind-bending space-time curvature, to modern gravitational wave astronomy, opening new windows on the cosmos. NASA's actual gravity-related research, from Grace satellites measuring Earth's gravitational variations to contributions to gravitational wave detection, represents genuine scientific achievement that advances our knowledge and improves life on Earth. The viral spread of claims like Project Anchor reveals important truths about how information flows in the digital age and why scientific literacy matters more than ever. When you encounter extraordinary claims on social media, especially those that invoke scientific authority, ask critical questions. Is there an official source? What physical mechanism is proposed? Do trained scientists find it credible? Does it appear in peer-reviewed research or only on social media? If this comprehensive breakdown of real gravitational science has been valuable to you, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. This channel is dedicated to taking viral science claims, whether they're accurate or misleading, and diving deep into the real science behind them. We've got upcoming documentaries exploring black holes, the James Webb Space Telescope's latest discoveries, the physics of time travel, and much more. Your subscription tells YouTube you want more evidence-based, deeply researched content exploring the wonders of space and physics. Share this video with anyone you've seen sharing Project Anchor claims. Help replace fear-mongering with genuine understanding. The universe is far stranger and more wonderful than any fiction, and gravity, one of its fundamental forces keeping you firmly planted on this spinning rock, hurtling through space at 30 kilometers per second, deserves to be understood and appreciated for the profound phenomenon it actually is. This video is produced for educational and entertainment purposes. All scientific information presented is based on current peer-reviewed research, official NASA communications, and established physical theories including Newtonian mechanics and Einstein's general relativity. The Project Anchor claim analysis represents the scientific consensus that no such NASA project exists, and that the described phenomenon has no basis in known physics. While every effort has been made to ensure accuracy, science continually evolves, and viewers are encouraged to consult primary scientific sources and NASA's official communications for the most current information. This content aims to promote scientific literacy and critical thinking when evaluating viral claims on social media. No specialized knowledge or equipment is required to verify the basic facts presented here. NASA's official website, peer-reviewed physics journals, and educational resources from accredited universities provide freely accessible information confirming the points discussed.